Today's episode of TWIMMO is brought to you by Audible for a free 30-day trial and to receive a free audio book because we all love free. Just head on over to gboffer.com/audible. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the last episode of TWIMMO. Before Christmas.
It just keeps getting better and better.
Before Christmas. I am not in studio today, obviously. I am home, as you can see, by the Christmas tree, by the mess over there. But we were here doing a show. Everybody keeps asking where the studio went. It is exactly where it was yesterday, and we'll be there tomorrow. We have not lost it. Just super busy and couldn't get to the studio today, so just want to get the show done and needed to stay home to do it. So joining me, as always, Mr. Justin Kennedy, JKK, Kennedy TV. What's up, sir?
Hey, getting ready for some Year of the Space games.
It is Year of the Space game, and I'm very excited about Year of the Space game because it's been a long time for us space sim nerds. Joining us also, Noob Fridge himself, Mr. Troy Blackburn. How are you, sir?
I am lacking a Christmas tree, but I'm here, so we're good to go.
You're lacking. I've got plenty of tree for you. Just take in my tree. You can absorb the tree.
I don't have a Christmas tree either.
What is with you guys, Scrooge?
Bomba!
No Christmas. Christmas is dead. Just give me
If you could see my house beyond what the camera shows, how everything is just stacked on top of each other because we've
got a
all
lot
the
of
floors
construction.
out, you would understand completely.
Yeah, you've got construction going on. Justin's got no. Just green screen one in. Just get rid of that tech background. Put a tree in and just say, "Hey, it's Christmas. I got a
There's no
tree."
excuse for Justin not to have a tree in his background.
Exactly. Everybody has a tree. That one's not real. It's green screened in. Imagine if I green screened like this room in. That's something Justin would do. He'd be like, it's a keyboard, some junk over there. I got some dirty socks.
Green screen in a dirty bedroom.
But dogs are right next to me, so that's always the fun of being home because I'm guaranteed at some point in the show they're going to go apeshit crazy. I was wondering how many people remember this room. This is the room Gamebreaker started in, by the way. It's just shifted. The camera used to be over there and used to shoot up against that wall, so you didn't see this behind me. But this was the tiny little room, and it's still tiny, but this is the room that Gamebreaker started in, so it's full circle. And I have none of the equipment. That's why I have to be the soundboard, play the music, and do everything. So one day I'll get this set up at home to be somewhat easy to use, but until then, this is what you got. So this is the last show before Christmas. This is it. Merry Christmas.
Yay! I hope you're on Santa's nice list.
Scrooge, no tree.
Unlike Justin, he's been naughty this year.
I think we're going to try and sneak in. I don't know the exact schedule. We'll take a look at it, but I think we're going to try and squeak in a show probably on an off day between Christmas and New Year's. So I think we can kind of pull that off. Probably, obviously, not on Thursday, which is, I think, New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. I'm not sure. But we'll try.
New Year's Day.
Yeah, it's New Year's Day. So I think we'll try and pull one off in between there. So might be again from home. But I guess I'll talk a little bit quickly before we get into the show. We'll talk a little bit about just like 2014 and 2015 and all that good stuff. So TWIMMO is like, the show that's still running on Gamebreaker. 2014 was a crazy year for Gamebreaker. Some ups, some downs.
Some figuring some things out.
Figuring a lot of things out.
Testing things out and seeing what works and what doesn't work. That's been kind of the definition of the year for us.
It really has been. So first up, thanks to everybody out there again who helped us with the GoFundMe campaign in 2014 when we needed the help. If you guys supported, thank you so much again. You really helped us pull through in 2014. After that, we kind of went dark a little bit, started pull back some shows, got rid of some shows. And I know a lot of you guys, know us for making all these shows. And now we're down to pretty much TWIMMO. We have our League of Legends shows, which are a bit shorter, but just want to let you know that we haven't stopped working. I mean, we've really kind of, sat down and kind of analyzed everything, looking at like what's going on. And we've got some really cool stuff I'm really excited about for 2015. The thing I'm most excited about for 2015, I keep talking about it a little bit, but it is coming. It's I think for some of the people out there that probably remember U-Report when we were really trying to embrace the community stuff. And I don't think U-Report really was fleshed out the way we wanted it to and what we wanted to make. But all I can tell you is that what we're building right now is from the ground up. And really, it's about creating your own the community's own section on Gamebreaker and really just involving the community. So each and every one of you out there are going to be able to, well, I'll just tell you, you're going to be able to post to Gamebreaker. I mean, literally. And you're going to be using the same tools that our writers use to create content, whether it's news, the lists we've been doing. If you have a podcast or a video you want to share with the community, you're going to have, and I mean, drop dead simple tools to use to do this. I mean, that's why we ended up deciding to just, we hired developers to like get on this and started building it, speccing it out. It's a really big deal. And we've been working on it for quite a while. I just showed it to Troy last night where it's at. I mean, we're getting there. We're getting there, man, but it looks awesome. Just the ease of...
And some of the stuff that you guys are going to be getting are improvements over what we currently have. Like, I'm looking forward to some of the tools that are coming in this. So we're definitely taking a step forward in back-end usability with this.
Yeah, so...
Well, I'm looking forward to it because I don't post on the site anymore, so I can just post my stuff.
Everyone can post. So really, literally, anyone can come to Gamebreaker and post. What we're going to do is make it probably a whole new section called Community and have them there. And then for those of you out there who make some really great content and great posts, we're going to be, featuring that stuff on the front page and things like that. So it's really super slick. The devs are doing a really great job building this thing out. There's his tree. I hope the community. I hope you guys love it as much as we do. I think it's super cool, and it's something I kind of wanted to do for a really long time. And like I said, it looks great. Just to be able to instantly create this stuff with a couple clicks and then like hit publish and it goes up. It's hard to explain, but it's a lot of fun. It's really good. So that's coming. That's the biggest thing. I'd say the big initiative that we're working on right now, trying to get that thing off the ground. And I'm really hoping for early 2015. We're getting closer. It took a while to get some of the back end plumbing, as they say, kind of worked out and written, but that's there. And we're going to have different modules. You're going to have like different modules to pick from. Look at Justin. He just can't decide. He's just like, tree. There you go. Now I'm okay. All right. Now he's got a tree. All right. He's got a tree. He's got a tree.
We're outside today for the show.
You should bundle up, Justin. It looks cold.
This is Notch's place, actually. It's a big glass window behind me that can open up.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
There's no snow in Southern California, though.
He bought a snow machine and had it made.
So why I'm telling all you guys this is that I feel like the people who watch TWIMMO have been here for a really long time. The hardcore fans have been watching it. So I feel like you're going to be the first people to get in there and try this out and dig into it and hopefully really make it a success, because we're really psyched about it. We can't wait to use it and then offer it and open it up to you. And we'll probably open it up with like very limited capacity in the beginning with like one module of maybe one type of post and then kind of open it up for some more. But we've got about 6 to 8 different types of posts or modules that we're looking to build out. And then I didn't even talk about how you're going to get your own page. Like, you're going to be able to get your own page. Like, Justin can get, when he signs in, he's going to get, gamebreaker.tv/JKKennedyTV with all your content. So anyone can do that. So if you're an individual and you want to create that, you're going to be able to create it. If you have a podcast or a show, you could create, the game show, blah, blah, blah. You could create, as a collective and make that and have your own page. And like I said, we're really going to be like, focusing on that stuff, promoting it, pushing it over to featured if you make some really great posts and things like that. So it's going to be really cool. It's cool. So that's the big thing that we're working on. And then on the show side, what I really wanted to do in 2015, and I've been spending a lot of time just trying to get it right, is I think in 2014, it's funny, in pre-show chat that we always have, chat room was just kind of talking about 2014 and MMOs and how it's been kind of a up and down year for games and MMOs in general. And I think you can see it with a lot of the shows. What happens, we created a lot of shows for a lot of MMOs, and they're not easy to put together, and there's a lot of man hours that go into it. I know it seems like when you do like a podcast, like one a week or something, you and your friends do a podcast, like, it doesn't cost money, but I mean, when you do 6, 7, 8 shows and there's like, 15 people, 20 people involved, like that costs money. Like, that's, those are man hours. They're not cheap to put together. So what I want to do in 2015 is, right now, my big focus is on creating one other show right now. There's more shows in the pipeline, but one show, which is going to be called Gamebreaker, which is going to be the flagship show, and we're just looking to try and knock it out of the park. So I don't really have much more information other than the fact that right now it's myself and Coltrane from Convert to Raid hosting it. But he and I have just been like, we've been meeting almost like, once, twice a week, just constantly, like we're doing pilots and we're putting packages together and like really trying to format this thing out and try and bring you guys something really cool and fun. Kind of like upping our game again. Not hanging out in the house, with Christmas trees and dogs, like up in our game. And that's the goal. Like, is to try and make
better than this show.
Much better than this show where we just hang out and chat. But yeah, we're looking to bring one really, really, really kick-ass show for everybody. And hopefully there's something for everybody in that show instead of focusing on a ton of shows. And then we're going to probably look at more of the short-form stuff as well. If you guys are League of Legends fans, you should be watching Waypoint and Summoner Showcase Revival with Kat and Andresco. We do those two League of Legends shows. And we love that format. That like under 10-minute kind of format has been really good. So we're probably going to be doing a Heroes of the Storm show and maybe a few others as well on the short form side. So those are not super easy to put out as well because there's a lot that goes into them with writing, producing, shooting, editing.
A lot of time.
They take a lot of time. People don't realize, especially when there's different people involved. And, most of the YouTubers that make YouTube videos kind of do a lot of the stuff themselves. They're one person. They kind of put it all together where, we do different things. We have a writer, and we have a producer, and we have somebody who shoots it, and then we have to edit it, and then it's a whole big process. But so definitely have some more shows in 2015. I'll give you guys more info and try and keep you up to date. I was hoping that the tool set would be out before 2015. I was hoping that December it would come, but we're a little bit behind on schedule on the release of that stuff. But again, I hope you guys are excited when we launch it, and please jump in and try it. I'd love to see what you guys like create. And I mean, you're gonna be able to do everything from news. So if you see a news post and you want to write a news article, you could write a news article. If you want to make a lists have been amazing for us lately, by the way. People are loving the stuff that we're doing. And that was another big shift that we did in content. We shifted the content and really started looking at what people liked, what we were making on the website besides shows. And I think we're on the right track. I think we're on the right.
When you're at work and you just pull up something real quick, a list is so nice and easy. Oh, here's 10 things for this. I'll just read those real quick.
Yep.
Go back to eating lunch.
The entire internet is lists, but there's a reason for that. It's easily consumable data. Like you said, you can just pull it up, get what you need out of it, and move on.
Well, the perfect example, right? We started this.
Is showing that.
Well, here's a perfect example. We just before the show, we're going to talk about Star Citizen in a minute because that's the big news. And I said, hey, where's the link of like the updates to Star Citizen? And you sent me this link, and it's a wall of text. And I was like, I ain't got no time for that. Where's my where are like the cliff notes to this? I need to do a show. I need to know right now what is in AC 1.0, and I don't have that right now. So then we need to take that page of text.
All you need to know about Star Citizen,
and then we need Troy, as soon as the show's over, is probably going to take that list and turn it into a Star Citizen AC 1.0 and make it very simple and easy that I can look up on my phone because that's what we're doing.
These are the things you need to know.
Yes. But again, we're going to give you all the power, everything that we just that whole back end that we use to make content. You're going to get it, and you're going to click publish, and it's going to be on the site, and it's going to be right there. So hopefully, hopefully you guys jump in and really embrace it and like it. Because I'll be honest with you. So I would say, Troy, you've kind of seen it a little bit, but correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say I only know this tool set is so. I'm hyping it up like freaking crazy right now, but I only know of like 2, maybe 3 sites on the entire internet that actually even have something this cool. Like,
I can only think of one specifically.
Yeah, since I've only actually used one other that had tools like this where you could go in and create your own stuff.
I mean, I'm not. If you guys remember U-Report, that was a hack job. Like, we are developing this, coding it from the ground up, and it is super freaking slick. So, all right, let's talk about some games. Now we're done. That's what everything's going on. If you guys can help, if you guys want to help out, always, like our YouTube page, our Facebook page. People are always asking about how they can help support this show and what's going on. A big way to support what we're doing in 2015, especially, and just from now till then. Obviously in 2014, we had the GoFundMe thing and people helped monetarily, which is awesome. Now, the way you guys can help is share stuff. And that is like the internet is all about sharing on Facebook, on Twitter. That is really probably the best way any of you can help Gamebreaker keep growing, keep being able to do what we do, add more shows and all this type of stuff is share our content. So if you see a post on Facebook or on Twitter and you thought it was funny and you liked it, please share it on Facebook and Twitter and your friends and stuff, because that is pretty much... People are in chat room are wondering how late they are. You're about 10 minutes late. You missed all the good stuff. We're going to talk about MMOs now, so it's all good. You didn't really miss anything. All right, so share in 2015. That's pretty much it. And thanks for everybody who likes and subscribes to like the Twitch page, all that good stuff. I don't ever ask that stuff, and it's just like almost like I kind of think it's ingrained in people, but seriously, sometimes you just got to kind of remind people to like the Twitch page, like the YouTube page, like the Facebook page, all that kind of stuff. All right, so biggest news today that just dropped literally probably, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes before the show started was Star Citizen. I tried to watch a lot of it. I was in the midst of doing stuff, but man, they did an awesome, like, end of the year Christmas kind of stream. It was really quite long. I don't know if you guys caught it, but they were pulling in all their different teams from Star Citizen around the world. They have teams all over. The developers are all over in different areas, and they were Skyping in and talking about what they're doing. The web development team on the website, and the animation team, and this, that. And it was really, really cool stream that they did. And at the end, they dropped a big announcement that what a lot of players didn't think. If you guys are following Star Citizen, everybody's been waiting for the Arena Commander 1.0 patch, which they promised to get before the new year, and everybody said, you guys aren't going to make it. There's no way you guys are going to get this done. And they did it.
Here it is. It's in this giant wall of text glory.
Here it is. They said within 30 minutes, it will be live. And once the stream was done, that's how they announced it. So everybody's jaw dropped. It's like, holy shit! It's going to be live in 30 minutes. So it's probably live at this point. I don't even know. It should be by now. So I'll be jumping in. The details are a little sketchy. I know a little bit about 1.0. I don't know. I honestly don't know all of the updates that are going in 1.0. I know they've got some new ships. There's a whole new HUD. It looks like that they're putting into the game, and a bunch of other. It seems like a really big update. Are you guys following Star Citizen at all?
I was following. I put money into it. I've backed them. I've bought a ship or two at this point. I've jumped in my hangar, and now at this point, it's more just following it as to see when they release more content, which, well, they did today.
Yeah, I haven't actually bought into it yet, but it's definitely something that's on my radar, maybe more so than even I've shown interest in Elite Dangerous, but I think at the end of the day, when this becomes closer, what is it, 2016 launch they're talking, as this gets closer and closer, I'm showing much more interest in this than I am anything else. There's a lot more depth and detail into what's going on in Star Citizen than there is anything else right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of, I think probably the majority of people, well, I don't know if the majority of people out there are waiting. I mean, they have a lot of backers. A lot of people spend a lot of money. This is the year, you're joking about the year of the space sim game, and it really is. I mean, Elite Dangerous just came out. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes, and Star Citizen's coming out, and it's really a genre that died. It just completely was left to the wayside, and I assume, games just changed, and space simulators, just aren't really the most popular of genre, and big corporations who produce games don't really want to spend the money on them. And thanks to Kickstarter, we've got these two. I mean, we almost forget that Star Citizen, well, we can't really forget Star Citizen was a Kickstarter campaign. They made so much money, it just seems like they weren't. But both Elite and Star Citizen were both Kickstarter campaigns that the crowd funded. So that's why we're seeing this sort of surge of hype back around the space sim genre. Thank God.
Yeah, which just goes to show that the big publishers aren't always as in touch with what the people want as they seem to think they are. Because obviously the crowds have spoken, and we want some of these. We want quality space sim games. I mean, look at Star Citizen. Like you said, it's got the big budget as if a big publisher, is behind this. But all this money come from the crowdfunding. If I'm not mistaken, they raised so much money that they flat out said, we don't have to go anywhere else. We don't have to deal with a big publisher at all. It's all funded through you guys. So we're going to do it the way you want it and the way we want it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a brilliant way to market a game. Like I said, looking today, even with this 1.0 update, joking right before pre-show, when you guys sent me the link to it, looking at it, there's all these new ships in the game, and everything's got a buy now sticker price on them, and you could buy a new ship for $35, $45, $55, $65, depending on the ship that you want. So, wow, what a brilliant business model. And damn you, Star Citizen, for making me spend more money probably in about an hour.
I was saying, it probably just raised a lot more money just now after that announcement.
Yeah, just now, 30 minutes ago, there's another chunk of money going towards development.
So if you guys are interested in it, you can still jump into it and go purchase, one of the packs and a ship and get in there. So it's not the full game that got released today for those of you who are not following Star Citizen. So they're releasing the game basically what's in modules where they're building sections of the game out and then releasing them. And so the very first module we received was just your hangar, literally your garage for your ship that you were able to just walk around in. That was it. I remember that was a glorious day. And then Arena Commander was the first actual gameplay we got, which was, actually in your ship on a map. So it's not an open world. This is a map, a in-space map, where you're dogfighting other people with a matchmaking system and all that good stuff.
Or racing.
And racing. That's the other map, the racing map. So Arena Commander 1.0 is what's dropped today, with a bunch of improvements and things like that. So you've got, I don't know, I would definitely go check it out and look it over and see. And I'm sure there's a bunch of streams going on probably all night tonight because the Star Citizen peeps are going to be out in force, I would imagine, this evening, including myself. So with that, another game that launched this week, another space sim, Frontier launched Elite Dangerous. I've been playing Elite through Alpha and Gamma and now launch.
Elite's the first successfully both funded and launched Kickstarter MMO.
Is it really?
No other MMO that's been on Kickstarter has launched yet.
Wow.
Funded. This is the first one.
That's interesting. Wow, good for them. Golf clap.
Right. But that's actually that's a really big deal. I mean, it really is.
It wasn't a fantasy game.
Yeah, and the fact that it wasn't a fantasy game is probably pretty amazing too. Like the first Kickstarted MMO to ever officially launch is not a fantasy MMO. Can you believe that?
They kind of came out.
Any further proof? We're headed into the year of the space sim. There you go.
Sigleaf is saying Camelot Unchained. It's not released. Camelot's not. We're talking about released.
Yeah,
released. This game is live. Elite is live. It is launched. It is totally a fully launched game. There's some new news I want to talk about, but first I want to jump in because you guys both have been asking me for the past few weeks on TWIMMO what I thought of Elite. I get all crazy and giddy. Again, my MMO time has been I haven't had a ton of time. We've been working on a bunch of stuff, so my time has been limited. And the first thing I've been going for is Elite. Like I just want to play Elite, and I can literally just get lost for hours in space. Don't ask me what I'm doing, but that's a whole nother story.
Sucking up that space gas.
Yes, I'm just flying around this planet. But Justin, you went and took the plunge today and purchased Elite, and you've got a few hours into it. So just tutorials and things like that. But I want to get your take on it a little bit. What's your initial reaction? How many hours are you in? 4?
My initial reaction is the tutorials suck. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? That's what I was doing. I go to tutorials. I'm like, okay, I don't know. I'm not turning. I was spinning around on my spaceship left and right until somebody told me to change that and how that works. But I was lost and confused. One little thing solved almost all my problems about how to control your speed that makes it easier to turn. And once I got that, the rest was pretty simple, the tutorials, and now it's gotten much better.
It's kind of a funny story. We have an internal work chat that we all talk to each other on, and Justin started chatting in chat about Elite, and I could just feel the rage coming through chat. It was just so much, and he had just started. I was like, dude, you need to relax. I was like, you need to relax, because I was like, this is going to go on for weeks. What do you mean? I'm like, you're not going to understand like 95% of this game. He's like, but I'm doing the tutorials. And I'm like, doesn't matter, bro.
I said, my problem was they called them tutorials.
Doesn't matter.
They might have just been test maps. That's what they should have just called them. I wasn't sure what the heck was going on. But it's much better now. I've gotten into the game officially and done some stuff. And Royby in chat right now, for those who are here for the live show, he's sitting here yelling out, "Look out, it's a sun," over and over again. Because my first time I did a jump across space, it put me in front of a space station. Okay. The second time I did it, and the third time I did it, at least the second time, it popped me out right in front of the sun, and I freaked out on chat. I'm sitting there going, I was like, holy fuck, it's a sun, I gotta stop. Because I was gonna run into the sun and blow up. I was like, what the hell is this? Why is it putting me in front of the sun?
That would have been the most epic first hour in a game rage quit ever. I flew into the sun. I'm done.
Flew into the sun. Back in alpha, this is a funny story. I wish I actually should go back because I was streaming it, so it exists somewhere probably. So back in alpha, I was streaming, and this is the kind of thing that happens at least. It's kind of funny, and so I built up some credits enough to buy a different ship outside of my Sidewinder, which I believe was the Eagle. But taking the risk taker that I am, I basically, when I bought my ship, basically took me down to basically 0 credits. So I had no more cash, which means if you guys are playing, so if you lose a ship, you need enough money for insurance purposes to get the ship back.
Which means you know where this story's going.
So I was like, man, I really want this ship. I'm not gonna have no money. I don't know what to do. So I bought the ship, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna start doing I'll do some trade runs with it. I'll just try and make up some money just to get back to my insurance level, whatever. And I'm flying back, and just you can pull people out of warp. You can get interdicted, which is like pulling somebody out of warp. So I'm flying. I start getting interdicted. Player pulls me out of warp. Another player pulls me out of warp. I can't engage my hyperdrive again. It just doesn't want to. I'm like, the whole systems are too hot. So now he immediately opens fire on me, and I'm trying to dodge it. I'm trying to pull my best flight skills to try to I'm rolling. I'm I'm stalling, trying to speeding up, slowing down, nose diving, lifting it up, and then I'm like, fuck it, we're gonna fight. This is all there is to it. Let's do this. And it becomes a dogfight. And I'm like, my brain in the entire time just going, you shouldn't be doing this. Like, you should not, you should not be engaging in this fight. But I'm doing it, and I'm in it, and we're going at each other. And I mean, people are watching. I'm watching. Somebody in chat room said they laughed so hard, so they must have watched the stream. I mean, this battle lasted I don't even know. It felt like an hour. It was probably 10 minutes or so. But we're going, and I'm getting this guy. And I'm breaking his shields down, and I can see on my target that I'm breaking him down. And I'm getting him, and he's starting to get in trouble. He knows he's in trouble. And I do this stall flip maneuver. I dump the throttle. I spin my ship around. He's basically pointing at me at that point. I'm pointing at him. I go full throttle, all engines, going at him, and I'm just open fire on him. And we're basically just head to head playing chicken. And I didn't even. I'm like, he's gonna peel off. He's gonna peel off, right?
He has to.
And this son of a bitch just straight on rams me. Completely blows my ship out of the sky, and I just went. I was just silent, and then my insurance screen came up, and realized I had no money. I just shut the computer down and slowly walked away. Because
he's gonna peel off, says the one of the two who doesn't have insurance.
Because that ship was I don't know. I think I had played. I mean, that ship was hours upon hours of playtime. I had played for days, and I didn't know how to play at first. So my credit skills were pretty low, so I wasn't earning money all that fast. That was days upon days of 8-hour sessions of playing a lot of Elite, and just blew up, and you're shit out of luck. You ain't getting that ship back. You're back in the Sidewinder. Start over day one. But I gotta say, that is what makes that game so awesome. Those types of things to me are why I actually love the game, and I couldn't wait to get back in because I'm just that's why I play Elite.
Well, yeah, you took a risk. You gambled. You knew when you bought that ship without the money for the insurance that you were gambling, and then there was a real consequence to that at the end of the day, which is makes it more interesting, makes it more fun. I mean, who gives a crap if you go out there in this big expensive ship, and if you get it blown up, oh well, I've automatically got another one. Who cares?
Royby says, don't fly what you can't afford to lose. True, but sometimes flying them, it's so much fun. It's so nice. You just want that new shiny. I want to get in that ship and see what it's like. I won't make that mistake again. I won't make that. Let's just say I won't make that mistake again. All right, back to Justin. I want to. So the tutorials are a bit rough. Okay, like they get your legs going a little bit to just but they definitely are not going to teach you much about the game. I think my advice to you was, look, just get used to this pace. Just start playing the game. Know that you're going to spend a lot of time on the forum and on YouTube, and probably watching other streamers who know a lot about it.
That's the thing. It's a couple little things that you have to learn, like just the simple fact that I realized that if I push S key on my keyboard anyways, like that actually puts my reverse thrusters on. It doesn't just slow down my speed, it puts on my reverse thruster. So I couldn't get into the port for a while at the beginning because I kept going away from it. I was trying to slow down.
I'm trying to land this puppy and why am I going backwards?
And keep your speed in that blue little line or whatever that's on the side there. It makes it easier to turn. That suddenly made the fights so much better. like there's just little things that if you figure that out, then suddenly like you can learn the rest pretty quickly after that. I feel like, but there's little things you have to look up and find.
There are a lot of controls to the game. A few more tips for people. Voice attack, I feel like, is a must-have for this game. Get voice attack.
You have to try that out.
There's a premium version. I forget how much it is. I don't think it's too much. I think it's like maybe $8, $10, something like that. What voice attack is, it's a separate standalone program that you launch before the game, that you train with your voice, and you can put in commands for basically anything. You make a profile for Elite, and then you can record, say, I want to say, landing gear down. And when you have your headset on, if you just say landing gear down in the game, landing gear will go down. Retract landing gear. And you can set it up however you want and say whatever you want. You can do all kinds of fun stuff with it as well. But I highly recommend doing it because there are so many controls. You don't always want to necessarily be like touching the keyboard. So with a decent stick and throttle system and voice attack, you can pretty much never touch your keyboard, which is kind of how you want to play.
Charlie, and you combine that with an Oculus Rift, and you're like legit flying a futuristic spaceship. Jeez.
They can't see me because they don't have a feed, but I've got my Oculus Rift on.
You must be doing something.
Something's going on. Either we lost Gary.
No, that was my Oculus. It works amazing with Oculus. If you have an Oculus, it looks sick, and I can go for like an hour in Oculus. The other thing that kind of, if people who are really into the game, something that really helped, I think it helps a lot with the game, is something called Track IR, which is something I hadn't known about until I started watching people play it. And what Track IR is, it's a small little, it looks like a webcam, it sits like on top of your monitor just like a webcam. And then basically, I've got my hat right here, my Elite hat. It comes with this little clip here. You can see it's got these little like 3 reflector things. You just put this on any kind of baseball cap. Basically what it does is it's head tracking. So there's head tracking. In Elite, if any of you played a lot of things like looking out of your cockpit, if you want to look up, left, right, down, whatever, can be kind of a pain in the butt. And with this, it's accelerated, so you only need to turn your head just a little bit, kind of like this, and then in-game, it'll turn your head, and it really helps gameplay as well. So that would be my other tip. But yeah, Justin, I'd say keep the I thought you were going to rage quit. I was pretty sure you were about to just completely rage quit after about 3 hours. You got to hang in there. It's a slow burner.
I made my first credits though. I made 1,600 credits for a run, so it took me about 20 minutes.
That's not bad. What did you? Was it a mission or was it a trade route?
Yeah, it was a mission to transport some leather across the solar system.
Have you gotten into looking at the map and trying to figure out where it makes sense to actually trade commodities?
No, I haven't done that yet. The only thing I've done with the map, I haven't done anything big other than I couldn't go straight to the location I needed to. I couldn't get there in one jump, so I had to plot out a course. I had to and jump multiple times to get to where I wanted to go.
Hi, you kids don't know how good you have it these days with your multi-point plotting of courses. God, in Gamma, we didn't have... So in Gamma on the map, you couldn't... if you wanted to go to a different star, let's say it was like 10 jumps, you couldn't just click on the star and say, plot my course and tell me how to get there. It didn't work. So you had to figure out...
I didn't
where to
think it was
go.
gonna do that at first.
Oh
I was just
my
I was just
God.
looking for the planet, and I was gonna jump to it. And then I saw that I had to plot my course thing, which is like, okay, well, I guess I'll just click that, and then suddenly it gave it to you. I thought that was a little unnormal for them compared to their tutorials.
The night I spent when they opened up the map during Gamma, which was a map opening, and they expanded the map, and then Sol was in the game, which is basically Earth, and I wanted to see it. You know, I knew it was just gonna be another planet, but I needed to go to Earth. I mean, it's Earth. You gotta go. And I set out my journey without my multi-plot point. It took me hours to try and get there. I mean, it's ridiculous. So it's a lot of fun. All right, so I'm gonna follow up. It's gonna be like a weekly follow-up on Justin's elite gameplay because I'm giving him till about.
It's okay to rage quit, Justin. It's okay.
Yeah, it might.
Just let it go.
Just let it go.
See, my long-term goal is to be a pirate to make other people rage quit.
Oh, so you're that guy. Okay.
Let's see how that goes.
You're Gary Gannon. Okay.
Is that what you're thinking about doing? You're gonna try and go.
Yeah, I'm going PvP oriented and taking people out or stopping them and getting their supplies.
All right. Let's see how that goes for you.
I just gotta make some money first. Apparently, they told me I couldn't do that right away.
Yeah, you need you better get some ship and some guns for that. So you can win cash now in Elite, apparently. So if you become ranked Elite, you can win some cash. So Frontier are offering cash prizes to the first players who can attain Elite status. So that's kind of the goal, I guess, is to attain Elite status. That was always the goal in the old Elite games. If you become Elite status in combat, you can get $1,500. If you become Elite status in trading, they're giving away $1,500 for that. Exploration $1,500, and if you get all three,
This is pretty big.
$15,000 if you get all.
Like,
three.
if someone really wanted to get into gaming, I feel like right now they might, if they had the money sitting back there and they're really really into Elite Dangerous, like sit up there and they're tired of the job, quit it, set up a stream, get going, and just go for that 15,000 hardcore. Go streaming all day.
$15,000 up for grabs. All you got to do is play games, play a game. So let's see. I'm going to read some of this. So to qualify this, you have to start on or release of the full game. So for some of you people out there, that actually means I guess you would have to clear your save file if you were an alpha or gamma player. So you have to start this like now or the day it came out. You have to start with a Sidewinder and 1,000 credits. They're going to definitely be checking all the logs and things like that for no cheating or exploits. So they're going to be checking all the save files and things like that. So don't cheat. If you choose to claim one or more of the prizes, you're going to be ineligible for the $10,000 prize. How does that work?
So if you basically get to combat first before anybody else, you can choose to go ahead and take the combat one for $1,500, and then you're done.
You can't go for the
50,000.
Oh,
but
wow.
So you have to choose to forgo that and let somebody else win the first to combat 1,500.
See, I love that. Like they're even making you risk. You even have to risk it all to go for the 15.
So that's almost identical to your "I bought a new ship with that insurance" story.
Exactly.
I quit my job with that, and let's get $1,500 here to go to 15,000.
It's like Deal or No Deal. You have to play wholly in open mode, so you can't play in solo or in friends groups. You got to play in open mode.
And the rest is just can't be.
And the other stuff is just some stipulations about some contrary to some, if there's any laws in your countries or things like that. And you cannot be an employer frontier, so like the normal kind of stuff like that. So pretty interesting. So yeah, if you want to get into gaming and want to make 15 grand, maybe now's the time to do it. Pick up Elite Dangerous and start right now, and maybe become, hit Elite status.
So this that's $15,000 plus the additional 4,500 there they're spending on the players right there. I mean, I don't know how much advertising they did. I don't think they did much advertisement. Is this basically like what they would normally have in a PR fund? Like, let's give it back to the players here. Let's give them a chance to get at it. make some news this way.
I think so. I mean, this seems to be aimed at definitely like the hardcore players. I mean, these are people who are probably kind of playing already. I mean, if you're going to sit down and try and go for elite status, I feel like you probably have been playing and paying attention to elite. I kind of doubt this is going to attract a lot of brand new players that are just going to see some news blurb that says, hey, win 15 grand if you just get elite status or something. I don't know. Do you guys see a lot of players picking it up for that?
I don't know. I think it might actually just create more dedication with their actual niche player base.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it sounds like a reward to. Yeah, it sounds like a reward to the players who are kind of already there, kind of interested to know what it's about. It's like, oh, by the way, since I'm already here, I could win $15,000.
Which actually makes me wonder: is they want to create obviously their niche player base. This isn't a sub-based game.
Mm-mm.
This is a buy-to-play game. What's the
Justin's thinking about it, Troy. Justin's thinking about it. He's flying over.
No, I'm not going to. I'm giving back a ship into a spot.
He almost rage quit 2 hours ago, but he's like, 15K.
Now it's like $15,000.
Maybe I can get used to this.
But I'm wondering how they're going to keep paying on this game.
Yeah, it's good. I mean,
is there going to be a cash shop yet?
I believe so. Yeah, I mean, there's going to probably be paint jobs and things like that. Cosmetic items, I'm sure, will be coming. I think they're already in there for some stuff. So I'm sure more will be coming. There's already paint jobs and stickers and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and the story stuff should be kicking up soon. Players have already taken on some really interesting stuff. Ix was just telling me, and I'd read about this. This is the kind of cool stuff what they're trying to do. So there's different factions that you can align yourself with or choose not to align with any or whatever you want. And certain areas of space are one way or the other faction based. And the players have already decided to kind of congregate or call to arms basically for a lot of players to go to a specific area to then try and flip the faction in that area by doing things in that area with trade routes and missions and they're trying to flip it and it's working. So they're trying to test the systems to basically see like, okay, is this really going to happen? Like, can we really affect the universe? And from what I can tell, it's definitely working. So I might head out there tonight and see if we can jump in the fight. All right, next up, let's talk about this. This was another big news this week. World of Warcraft says that they're exploring the possibility of sort of an in-game, not sort of, but an in-game token system, which is kind of like if you're familiar with Eve Plex or the WildStar Cred system. Basically, they're looking at tradable game time tokens. So you're going to be able to possibly, looks like what they're testing for 2015 is to be able to buy tradable game time tokens for in the game, and they'll be exchangeable with other players in World of Warcraft for gold. So this blew up. This came out of I'd say it was surprising, but it isn't. But it was at the time of just like I think this is a good move. I mean, this system works really well for other games out there. I mean, even thinking about WildStar as the newer one that adopted this system. I don't think players had a problem with this system at all, did they?
No, I don't think there's much problem with the system at all. It's first off, it's a win-win for WoW. They still get the subscription paid for, sometimes even more than it normally costs. If you go with I think WildStar did it $5 more than it costs for a sub. And the casual players, who is a large number of people in World of Warcraft, they can buy this and sell it for gold, and they can get some of that gold they need in order to unlock stuff or pay for things. The hardcore players can figure out all that gold they have spent up and buy their game time.
Yeah, and I mean, why not? It lets players bring in gold into the economy. Those who are going to go out to the illegal sites and purchase gold and get the game hacked and everything that comes with the negative side of that. And then you're getting the added benefit that the players who are already in your game are going to be able to like, okay, well, I play a lot. I've got all this gold. I'm not going to pay a sub this month. I'm going to continue to play. Whereas maybe they were contemplating, I don't want to pay $15 this month, but you're not losing that sub money every month because somebody still had to buy that sub in order to put it on the market. So it's sort of a trend of going towards the way a lot of games are going right now, with either some sort of free-to-play or some sort of flex payment model. And I don't really see any negative to this or any reason not to jump on board and give it a shot.
On the economy side of the game, it actually kind of creates a stabilized environment for the economy. I mean, typically when you don't have anything like that in the game, it's all based on like what's popular item that patch or that expansion, and it's like, well, that item becomes like the standard. Like, how much is that selling for? And that kind of becomes the standard to people. In this case, now the tokens become the standard pay rate, like the gold bar used to be in, for real life. In this case, the tokens are your standard pay rate. Whatever that is, that kind of creates a standard for everything.
I gotta guess that, I mean, this sounds like this is gonna definitely probably come to World of Warcraft the way it's kind of been rolled out. I doubt we would have heard about this. This doesn't seem like Blizzard don't seem to be really known for talking about a lot of things sort of like in this area, especially when it comes to the cash shop store and things like that, and then them not being implemented. Like, if we're hearing about it like this, I'm pretty damn sure we're gonna get this. And then if Blizzard are doing it in World of Warcraft, that kind of sets the standard that we can almost expect this in every MMO moving forward.
Oh yeah, that's something I started to say earlier. Was once they do this, everybody's going to want to try it. And the downside may be you may get more games who think they can launch with a subscription model and use this. It's not going to work. If we haven't proven that this year, that if you're not World of Warcraft or EVE, don't launch with a subscription model.
Well, I think I was going to say, don't launch with a sub model and not have your game able to continue playing for people with content. That's the true side of it.
Yeah, I'm watching the chat room, and we always see the forum threads pop up of pay to win, and I mean,
I don't know how that's pay to win.
I don't know how that's pay to win at all. Like, it's just those posters are so completely ignorant. Those posts are so ignorant of just not understanding what even the term is. They just want something to basically troll the internet with and try and cause some ruckus. So I would say do your homework, and you'll realize that it's really not pay to win.
Yeah, there's nothing at all pay to win about this.
They're already they're spending in-game gold for their items or giving it to people to run them through dungeons and stuff already. I mean, this doesn't do anything like that. It's just gets them some gold.
All right, I want to talk about Landmark before we go, but quickly, I want to tell you guys about this week's sponsor for This Week in MMO. It is Audible, and we are always super happy to have Audible on for This Week in MMO. We want to hook you guys up with a free 30-day trial and a free audiobook, and all you got to do is go over to gboffer.com/audible, use that URL, make sure you use that URL. It helps support this show and Gamebreaker in general by signing up and checking it out. And, of course, they have a bunch of World of Warcraft books. Talking about World of Warcraft. Here's the Shadows of the Horde. Vol'jin. Take a quick listen.
Though that was his primary line of reasoning, the whispers and tutting from the two Chang sisters gave him further cause to hold back. The two of them were old enough to remember when Lu Lang had first departed Pandaria, or so they said. Though their fur ran much more to white than black, save where they darkened it around their eyes, Chen assumed they weren't quite that old. They'd spent all their lives in Pandaria, and very little of them in the company of those who had lived on the Wandering Isle.
I love Scott Brick. He's got a great voice, that man. Check it out. That's World of Warcraft Vol'jin, Shadows of the Horde. If you're looking, there's a bunch of other World of Warcraft books, but they have everything from sci-fi to fantasy to murder mysteries. I mean, there's just hundreds of thousands of books on Audible. Working on your iPhone, your Android device, your Kindle, whatever kind of device you have. Basically, you download the app, put it on your phone or your iPad or any of those devices. Download a free book, get to listening to it. These are great when you're flying around in Elite, by the way. It's perfect. Hours and hours of just you in space.
How do you think of that? It's like driving in your car. Yeah, I'm getting audiobook because I think I drive for 4 hours tomorrow, so I'm actually buying some Audible credits to get a book. And I didn't think of that you're in your spaceship, you just plug and play an Audible.
Grab a great sci-fi novel, nice some sci-fi fiction off of Audible, and boom, complete immersion.
They almost need to like contact Elite and have like something set up.
in
you can play your Audible. You can play your Audible files from in game.
Oh my god, that'd be crazy. Check it out today. Go over to gboffer.com/audible. Super cool site. All right, so last up this week, let's talk about Landmark, EverQuest Landmark. The big news is that there's a big patch today. I think servers went down for some sort of exploit, but by the time you're probably watching this on the download, it's probably back up. So Landmark gets their PvE update, and there's a lot of talk about how EQ Next, EverQuest Next, is now really going to be focused on, especially in 2015. So it's bigger than the August PvP update, and apparently this is even a larger update than the original alpha release. Is that correct?
Yeah, bigger than the launch itself.
So there's a lot of stuff going into this. I mean, we can't go over everything. The official patch notes are up, so you can go check them out if you're looking to check them out. But they've now, you can explore, you can now kill monsters. I mean, that's the big thing, is killing monsters and getting loot, right? I mean, this is the big deal.
And then if you look at, I don't know how big their voxels are, but the caverns you can go into in the game that you go down and fight the monsters in, 10,000 voxels deep.
Oh, wow. That sounds impressive. I don't know what that means.
I don't know how big that is. That sounds
a voxel could be like the size of a toenail for all I know, and I don't know, but it sounds cool.
I know 100 voxels was actually pretty big when I was playing it and designing things.
Yeah,
so
no,
I think 2,000 is pretty huge.
It's like a pretty decent sized cube. So, yeah, killing monsters, getting loot sounds great. That's all in there. So, and salvaging into components, that's in there. You're gonna make
two other big things. The linking system now.
What is that about? So linking other players?
The linking and triggering system. So they have props in the game that have actions assigned to them. Pushing a button, opening a door. They actually have those actions in game. Well, now they implemented the linking system where you can take it so that when you push a button, it opens the door. Or you push a button, you can have it do 5 different things. It opens a door, turns on a light, it starts a water fountain or something like that. It turns on an engine. You can link all these things together to create multiple actions reacting with each other, or create loops or whatever you want to.
Oh, interesting.
So basically, you want to start getting in the game and exploring around, because the uber creative people just got a whole new set of tools to do some awesome
that's
stuff.
the thing. Like, I'm more interested in what these creative people are going to come up with now. They're going to create like entire factories.
Yeah, because I'm not that guy. I'm the guy who comes in and looks at all your cool stuff. Okay,
That's very Minecraft-esque, isn't it? And people started putting all those different components together, and that's when we started seeing all those crazy contraptions that, like, engines and things that built.
It'll probably be a Christmas city by the end of this year, playing a song that you push a button on and lights flash to it already in Landmark.
This one's interesting too, and a lot of Star Wars Galaxies. Go ahead, take a drink. Haven't brought up that game in a long time. This you gotta remember this, the player economy stuff. So you're gonna have personal vendors at claims. Will be out. That's coming out after the new year though, so that's not out just yet. But after the new year, personal vendors. So that looks like it's going in, which is definitely straight out of SWG. We haven't seen that in a long time. The really interesting quote here is Dave Georgeson talking about EverQuest Next, which we haven't heard a whole heck of a lot about. We just knew that, Landmark was being created and launched, and we knew that they were building stuff for Landmark that would go into EQ Next. But here's the quote here. It says, when we get to those game mastering systems after the start of the year, that means we are working on EQ Next full time. Because those are the systems we need for EQN, and that's what we're building when we're building those game mastering tools. He says, so we're so close to transitioning the team almost entirely to EQN. And then we'll take the elements that we build for EQN and port them over to Landmark. But our focus will shift almost entirely to EQN after the new year. So it looks like, right now they've all been focused on building these systems that they're going to use for EQN for Landmark. But start of the new year, it looks like they're going to be shifting that entire team. Will basically be the EverQuest Next team. And then as they build those things for Next, you'll see them as kind of completely shifting roles at this point.
So if you're enjoying Landmark as a Minecraft-esque game, you've got more tools to enjoy that. Or if you're like me and it's more of a, hey, I just like jumping in when there's an update so I can kind of see some of the thoughts and ideas and mechanics and tools that are leaning towards, sort of the development of EQ Next. Well, here's a nice new update with some new things coming for that.
So it's nice to actually just finally see some information on EQ Next that we're getting there, because a lot of people have been wondering what is happening.
I think it's still very confusing. Like the whole way that they've structured the development is confusing, right? I mean, even this shift to explain to people, all right, everybody, this whole entire team that's the EQ Landmark team, we're going to now make them the whole EverQuest Next team, and they're going to be working on EQN full time. And then people like Landmark and be like, well, what happened to my team, and what goes on with development over here? You know, it's a somewhat, you know, it's a new way that they're building this game. So, but it sounds like after the part of the new year, EQN is on full time. So I would assume that we're going to see more information coming out about EQN in the new year.
Yeah, which the hype train should start rolling this year, hopefully.
Hype train's going to start now.
All aboard. All aboard.
Choo.
That way in 12 months we can say, oh, this game don't work near as good as we thought it was going to be.
We'll let the chat room do that for us. All right, guys, that does it for this week's show. Last show before Christmas. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that good stuff. We will do a show between Christmas and the New Year, so I won't say Happy New Year, but well, who knows? Just to say, I'll say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, just in case. Just in case.
Because if we're being honest, we never know.
No, we definitely were going to try and get out of the show, but it's been a great 2014. Ups, downs, everything. You guys have been with us for the long haul. So on to 2015, more shows, more cool stuff, and just building out the community even more. So thanks so much, you guys, for watching. Justin, follow him on Twitter at JKKennedyTV, as always, and check out his stream on Twitch. Probably going to be rage quitting Elite Dangerous any second now.
I was going to say you should be watching because he could rage quit any moment.
Any moment.
It could happen. You want to be there when it happens.
When someone blows me up.
Troy Blackburn, follow him on Twitter at NoobFridge, and of course check out all his work on Gamebreaker.tv. He will not be rage quitting Elite just yet. Give him some time.
Not yet.
Maybe soon. You can follow me, Gary Gannon. Follow Gamebreaker TV, Gamebreaker TV. Make sure to like our Facebook page and our Twitter and all that good stuff. Again, thanks so much for, we'll probably have another show between the new year, but have a safe, awesome Christmas, holiday, whatever you celebrate with you and your family. Stay safe, be merry. Hope you get some good gifts, and we'll see you before the new year. So have a great week. We'll see you next week. Do 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 do.